2013, the first time sitting down in a WYRE. Ebana, big thanks, brother.
Thanks for having me.
Man, it's a good play. We've been having these talks down and forth, but you know we never got a chance to have this talk. Like, hey, kicking off, you had this big record with the biggest reggae duo, Paris Hamlin. Your record, how did it come about?
No, it was GRAMPS, Peter and GRAMPS Morgan from Morgan Heritage. About a year or two ago, GRAMPS was in town, in Nairobi, and my PA managed to meet up with him because I was going to Kigali at the same time he was here, so I couldn't attend his concert. So I got his contacts and I got in touch with the manager, and when we got in touch with them, I asked her whether GRAMPS would be cool to work with me on a single. And he was like, you know what, you'll be shocked at how much GRAMPS knows you already. Because he had had the relationships with him already with Uprising and tracks like that. So I was like, okay, let me send you a demo track, let me see, if you guys like it, maybe you could jump on it. They were like, okay, cool, send it. So I jumped into the studio quickly, walked in on a one-drop track. I voiced it, I wrote the chorus, and I sent it. Less than a week after, they got back to me and they said they loved it, so they voiced it. Initially, I thought it was only going to be GRAMPS who's going to voice it, but Peter also jumped on it, man. So
he loved it too.
Yeah, man. So that was great. Those are my big brothers in the game, man.
So today, when you talk of those two big brothers from the family, the Morgan family, there's I don't know. It should be a masterpiece in your painting. It should be a plaque on your wall. Having had an honor, not just to work with them, but they also liked your work, because you know people have been coming to Africa after doing shows, and artists have been forcing to do collabs with them. But you know, just a point in a mark that you know they're feeling your work. What does that make? Why you feel? How do you feel like?
First of all, it was like a dream come true, honestly, because I grew up listening to the Morgans. And you know what, if the Morgans rate you, man, that means you're doing something sensible in reggae and dancehall. One thing they told me is that we understand your patois, and it's not, it doesn't sound fake. So I was really glad about that, and I was very cautious about that because I don't want to sound like I'm trying to imitate the Jamaican culture.
Patois,
but the thing is, I've listened to reggae and dancehall since I was a kid. So you name it, from back in the days, from Yellow Man to Don Carlos, all the way, man. So it's something I've really grown on and grown to like, and I decided, you know what, this is the kind of genre I want to do.
Let's clarify in that point where I was telling the viewers that you know, people work hard to get accolades, but how do you differentiate your work from working to achieve an accolade to giving fans what they're really expecting from WYRE?
First of all, I think the best thing to work on is your passion, you know what I mean? If your passion drives you at the end of the day, it definitely affects the quality of your work. If you're in it just to win awards or for the fame, you're not going to have a long time span of this career. Music is my life, first of all. I eat music, eat, sleep music, live music, man. It's my lifestyle, and I earn a good living from it. So it's something I've always wanted to do since I was young. If you're in it, if your focus is too much on the awards, winning, this year I'm gonna take, you know, best reggae act or best dancehall act, I think you're gonna lose focus because you're trying to do more what's going to please the people. You know what I mean? You're not going to please yourself as an artist, so you might be on the shelf. Just you need to be able to strike a balance. I call it being commercially clever. You know what I mean? One way, reggae music is message music. I love passing the message in my music. So, but at the same time, you still need to sell records. So how do you strike the balance?
It's show business. How do you balance the show and the business?
Exactly. So you need to figure out how you're going to stay real to yourself as an artist, and at the same time be marketable and sellable.
Speaking of real, there's a new saying. I bumped into somebody on the street. He had this t-shirt called "Real Recognize Real." How important today in the year 2013 is it vital for an artist to be real in their music?
Well, like I said, music is a business at the end of the day, and you need to make a living. it depends on what kind of artist you want to be recognized as. Okay. For artists starting out, they normally have a hard time getting recognized, and because they don't have a brand. But once your name turns into a brand, it's easy for you to dictate as an artist. You know what I mean? You don't need to jump on what's hot. If maybe the hottest genre right now is techno or trance, you don't have to do that to
be relevant.
To be relevant, man, because your name is relevant. So you're the one who, I believe in being a trendsetter, as opposed to jumping on what's hot. And I think that way people will last longer.
You create the trend for people to follow.
Set the trend, let them
follow the trend.
Yeah.
There was a rumor flying around East African, Tanzania, swap combat. You were supposed to do a joint with the hip hop card Mwalefe.
Yeah.
What happened?
We actually recorded a single, more than one single with Mwalefe. There's a single I did with him, just me and him alone. And most recently, sometime last year, we recorded a single, me, Mwalefe and Prezzo.
Okay.
So we recorded it under my label, Love Child Records. I recently launched my label a year ago.
Oh,
so
right.
that's one of the other projects I've been trying to push as much. And we're just looking for the right opportunity to shoot the video and release the single as is. I've got so much respect for Mwalefe as an artist, man. I've known him from days of it was called Mwana Falsafa. Yeah.
With the cornrows and all those things.
I'll tell you, from the East Coast, East Coast?
East Coast, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm a big fan of his. I love his flow, I love his lyrical prowess as well.
And the craft.
I think Mwalefe I think he's a trendsetter as well. I like what he's doing for the industry. So look out for that video coming out soon.
Okay.
What makes that market tick? You know what I mean? Will it take a collaboration with one of the artists on that side, trying to fuse our styles? Will that work? Because I believe there's always a space for growth as an artist. I don't like being content with where I am, because the moment I believe once an artist decides they're comfortable, that's the beginning of their downfall. You know what I mean? Constantly need to keep on getting I always said I'm going to try and hit Jamaica hard, man. So finally when the collaboration started coming through.
I had a rumor you once moved to Jamaica and you never wanted to come back to that.
No. I'm planning to go there, travel this year, for sure, and shoot a couple of videos and get into some studio sessions as well. But I haven't gone yet. I'd love to, definitely.
Man, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
It's been a blessing, man. Siku ya jana WYRE alikuwa anasafiri anarudi airport, naye ameweza kuona kitu hicho. So tumuulize WYRE yanaona impact ya graffiti ambazo zimekuwa painted katika kuta za uwanja wa ndege Jomo Kenyatta International Airport itakuwa ni ipi, positive or negative? WYRE, what's the call of that?
I think it's a positive move for the youth, if you ask me, because graffiti is a means of expression for artists as well. You could use it both in a negative and a positive way, and if it's used in a positive way, like for instance passing a message of peace, why not use it? As long as it's controlled and it doesn't look messy, I think it's all good.
It's good.
Yeah.
And how do you think our elderly folks will embrace that? Because we come from that era of I don't know, less educated about graffiti. It's like hip hop. Today we're talking of a kid that grew up in Kibera, Octopizo, or the kid Rabbit. They're doing hip hop, but hip hop had negative projection back in the days, and so is graffiti. But today we have it at the airport. That's where visitors come to the country. What do you think that our elderly will embrace that?
Well, I think times are changing, and I think the elderly people are becoming more accepting to the youth culture and what we consider cool, what we consider a lifestyle. It's definitely obvious the youth are the future, and if we don't embrace what the youth consider normal, you're gonna have a hard time definitely in the future cohabiting with them.
Yeah, sure.
So I think the culture is changing and times are changing and people are more accepting to what the youth are feeling.
Did you know what gold is, person, man?
Yeah, it's pretty sad, man.
Yeah, so how did you feel, man, the first time on the scale?
As soon as I got the news, man, I tried to call the president, but I couldn't get through to him. I think he traveled already. But you know what, we wish the family, man, we pass all our condolences, and and we're praying for your family this time, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we're getting back to the music. That was some sad moment for Africa. I think the world as well, because you know, if you heard that she was at the Grammys and then 2-3 days later and you're like, she's gone. So on behalf of GongaMex.com, GongaMex TV, we say, you know, the family of Goldie and all that and all that. You know, so God's wish, you know, if you decide that today you're going, there's no way you can replay that like a disc and you say, okay, I'm skipping track 2. It has to be done, let's go with it. So going back to WYRE, speaking of Love Child Records, what inspires an artist like you to have a record company? And what talent do you look for? Because I always think like somebody with a big creative mind really looks for something that is a standout.
First of all, it's always been my dream to open my own label. I worked in a production house myself back then. That was Audiovo by Ted Josiah. And then together we formed Blue Zebra. And shortly after a couple of years I decided to move on and start my own thing. That's Love Child Records. And so far I've signed on 3 acts. The first act I signed on was called Verbal, the dancehall artist. The second act I signed on was called B-Man. B-Man is from Arusha.
Alright.
So,
big up, man.
Yeah, he's doing big things. Look out for his single Embedodo, that's out. And third artist I signed on recently is called IT. He's a hip-hop artist.
Okay.
So there's a lot of new stuff coming out. It's definitely my passion to try and package new artists for the industry, because I think I've been at this for quite some time. I've been doing this for about 18 years professionally. So I think I'm in a position to be able to advise and package an artist comfortably for this market. And that's what I'm trying to do. The industry has been so good to me, and I don't take it for granted, and I would like to give back. This is my way of giving back. I want to introduce new talent and get artists to the point where they can, nurture artists to the point where they can sustain themselves with music. Yeah,
it's really good that in a concept where you like, somebody would have this vision that, okay, WYRE is a big reggae and dancehall artist. So what we're going to do, we have this vision that he's going to be signing on to people affiliated with reggae genre.
No, not necessarily. As a record producer and a label exec, the last thing you want to do is be biased in the sort of genre that you select to work with. Because you're in this to sell records at the end of the day, so you don't limit your clientele only to reggae and dancehall. That's why I'm as long as you have the wow factor as an artist and what I'm looking for, definitely you've got a chance to work on my label for sure.
With 18 years of experience in this business, there comes something called a brand. Today, as we speak, you're the ambassador of Sunset.
Yeah.
What else is WYRE going to be remembered for, regardless of putting the Kenyan dancehall and the reggae music on the proper lane on an international level? We've seen you do collabs with the Jamaican lady on your remix, Cecilia. We've seen you do big with the Morgans, and that's all big. You've done, you've crossed over to Uganda. You've done a collab. You created a super group with Biblical. It's African Passion. What do you want to be remembered for? God forbid if you were to go to leave us today.
First of all, I want to be remembered definitely for spreading positivity through my music. It could be through the message, or just when people play my music, I want them to enjoy it and say, you know what, we love what this guy's doing for the industry. I want to be remembered for creating opportunities for other artists to grow up in the industry, and you know, making it possible for other people to live off their music. That's what I want to be remembered.
Okay.
I want to be a trendsetter. My biggest icon of all times was definitely Michael Jackson. He was, I think, like the biggest philanthropist that was there. You know what I mean? He had a big heart, and we'll always remember him for that. You know what I mean? So I'd rather be remembered for the positive things that you do in regards to your music. Definitely.
Man, what else do you need, man? You just heard it from the man himself. Be remembered for the positivity all other stuff is just irrelevant. As long as you're doing your music, but you have something positive that people can always imagine. You know, this dude walking on the street just there, and the kid is just saying any of the lines of his songs that were positive. That makes him feel really great and feel inspired that he's taking the world and building a next generation that will live off his positivity. So I think many people are still asking. Many people are still asking, when are we getting the reunion? Necessary Notes. When are we getting the reunion? East African Bashment Group.
So it's a good thing you just brought that up, because we just cleared recording a single, me and Azizi, a comeback single, by Necessary Noise. So look out for the video coming out soon. I'm about to shoot it hopefully in the next 1 or 2 weeks. We talked, Bebe called me about 2-3 weeks ago, because we're planning to go for a concert as East African Bashment in Canada. But he's going to come to Nairobi, and we're going to get together as EABC to record something in my label, Launch Records. So look out for that too.
Wow.
Yeah, a bigger, better sound.
2013 is looking good.
I'm not laughing around this time.
2013 is looking good. Speaking of 2013, in a couple of weeks, Kenya is getting back at it. We've seen what happened post 2007, 2008. Yeah. Where there was, it was not good. I don't want even to remind people of what happened.
Yeah,
what is WYRE visualizing on, the coming elections?
Well, first of all, I don't think Kenyans want to go back to where we were a couple of years ago, after the last elections. There's a lot of positive vibes going on, especially coming from the youth right now. And people are saying, you know what, we've had enough of being used, and we don't want to go back there. It's no longer about your tribe or anything. It's about being Kenyan and being patriotic. Kenya is ours, man, and we love her. So it's our duty to take care of her. And I don't think the youth are ready to let us go back to where we were. So there's a lot of a couple of initiatives going around for peace, and that people are. A lot of artists are getting involved in, and like this weekend we had a concert called Tukarada at the KICC, and we had Chronics from Jamaica come down to take part in that.
I met them yesterday.
And a lot of youths came down and said, we're together in this, and we're all one as Kenyans.
Yeah.
So I think I'm very hopeful about this time, and I think it's going to go well. I don't think we're going to go back into fighting.
Alright. Something in affiliation with the election, I've been asking all the celebrities in Kenya. You're a brand. That's why sometimes as a company, an international company picked you up. And then you're still a brand locally.
Yeah.
Where in elections, the aspirants take travel and write out big checks to big brands like you. And at the end of the day, because you are, the generations look onto you to do what they're doing, to take their lives, go ahead. So if you're behind this aspirant, they'll think that it's the real deal. So what's the deal with all these checks, people getting all these checks? What can you talk about that?
I think it comes down to the artist as an individual. It depends on at the end of the day, what you want to stand for, what you stand for, and what legacy you want to leave at the end of the day. Do you want to be branded that you're supporting one side, or do you want to be known for one of the guys who was constantly neutral and just preaching the word of peace all through? It depends on you as an individual. I won't even lie, it's definitely tempting, the kind of offers you get.
Yeah.
But personally, as an artist, I don't want to get involved with any of that, but because I believe, one, I have a duty towards my country. Two, I think I don't want to taint my brand or brand myself any political side. I'd rather stay neutral at the end of the day, because I've got my own following, and that would definitely affect one side of my fans if it's only on one side. You know what I mean? So I'd rather appeal to a larger crowd and stay neutral at the end of the day.
Man, thank you so much man. Namesikia kutoka kwa jamaa anaitwa WYRE akiwa anafungukia mchakato mzima ya jinsi tunaelekea kwenye uchaguzi nchini Kenya. Kilichotokea tushakiona, wengine nakwambia inabidi watu wajifunze kuweza kufanya kitu ambacho kitawapeleka sehemu ambayo inaleta muendelezo au vibana, muendelezo wa maendeleo au vibana. Inabidi uelewe kitu hicho, muendelezo wa maendeleo, sio kurudisha maendeleo nyuma. Ni mchakato mzima. GRAMPS TV. Na mwisho kabisa labda kuweza kumuuliza WYRE ni kwamba lini tutakuja kuona amesaliti reggae au dancehall akafanya genre nyingine? Just a little of wish.
There's always been this big debate because a couple of years I did the single Chuki, and my first album was half R&B, half dancehall. This time I decided to go more reggae and dancehall. So that was in the quest of trying to find my sound as WYRE, but I think I'm more comfortable with the reggae and dancehall genre for now. Not saying that I don't love R&B. I listen to a lot of that growing up as well. But in case I do R&B, I like blending the style. I'd rather sing the hook R&B style and go jump into patois and the chorus go bashment style on it. So I don't mind combining styles, but a big part of my passion is definitely reggae and dancehall. Sure.
Inspiration. Sasa tuna ziada. Shukrani sana kwa kuangalia GRAMPS TV tukiwa ndani ya nchi ya Kenya, mji wa Nairobi. Very first time tuna hook up na WYRE atuambie what has been going on. Kama ulivyosikia, there is a possible reunion ya EFBC, East African Bashment Crew, lakini pia joint ye na Zizi ambao ni Necessary Noise, ambao walikuwa Necessary Noise kabla Bebe Cool kujiunga nao, wakaungana kile ambacho kinaitwa East African Bashment Crew. Hiyo joint anasema imekamilika na video nafikiri ndio itakuwa inafuatia. So hayo yote tutakuwa tunayapata kupitia GRAMPS TV, na pia tutakuwa tunapata updates kupitia GRAMPS.com. Yeah, what's the name of the new record? 2013, your own joint?
I've been recording, man. I've got tons and tons of singles. Although late last year I released a single called Hadija. The video is coming out soon.
Hadija is blowing up. East Africa Radio, Clouds, Radio.
Yeah, so look out for
blazing it big.
The video is coming out soon. Look out for. I did a single with one of my artists, Verbal, called Scatter Them. Straight dancehall style coming through. So that's gonna be mad as well. Plan to shoot the video this month as well.
Yeah, speaking of videos, man, before you let you go, man, of late people are shooting videos in South Africa. What's going on?
Well, I think
what's the vision of your own people?
People are in the quest of trying to.
The mileage. I'm kind of feeling that it's about the Western TV mileage. Choice Abilene TV. I think they're doing it for the real thing.
The quality is good down there, but I believe we can get the same quality down here.
But it's doing big. They just showed the brand new Diamond video.
Yeah.
They're doing it big.
Good stuff, but I still insist. I think we can still get the same quality here in East Africa. It's what I believe is pushing our own, pushing our own brand. So if I can support somebody in the industry here in Kenya, I'll do it. You know what I mean? Instead of going too far, traveling too far to go and shoot. Although I don't mind, I love the quality that comes from down there. But if I can do it here in Kenya, why not? Or in East Africa, why not?
What are you looking at working out with in the Tanzania market?
Tanzania,
regardless of this just released with MFA.
I worked with the lady known as Grace Matata.
Grace, oh, mama, she's nice on the guitar.
She's an amazing
The vocals are also.
Yeah, so I featured on a track of hers. I'm doing my B-Man's next single is featuring me as well.
King B-Man?
Yeah, B-Man is doing big things out there. We've been talking with the AY for a while about working. Like, dude, let's stop meeting at the awards. Let's meet in the studio.
Yeah, man.
So we're definitely looking at working on some stuff.